Green Cooling scores with the 13 Pro-Am Community Rugby League Show.
Hello, good evening and welcome. This Wednesday, it's Wednesday again. Yes, it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. You know what this means. This means it's time for the 13 Pro-Am Community Rugby League Show. My name's Dave Parkinson. As ever, delighted to bring you coverage of all the goings on around the community game, and helping me to get through all these results and to have all the chats in the world, it's Mr. Steve Beech. How are you doing, Steve? You okay, mate?
I'm doing fine, thanks, Parky. One thing we've not got to mention is the weather.
Well, it's chucking it down.
Oh, you mentioned the weather.
It's chucking it down.
Oh, it's absolutely bouncing it down. So, yeah. All week I've been saying, I hope it rains, it'll be good for the garden. I'm sorry I mentioned that now. I've been out all afternoon building an ark.
But that's it. It's not going to stop now, is it?
It's no. And that's all we're going to mention about the weather on this show, by the way.
I don't know. It was very nice.
It was gorgeous.
At the weekend.
Last Friday, wasn't it?
And on Friday evening.
Was it ever? Was it ever?
So, of course, we ventured over to Latchford, Albion again. We've got to thank the club once again for hosting us. It was the big game against Orrell St James. We've got the audio highlights of that, plus to come a little later on, an interview with Orrell St James coach Sean McHugh. And I got to have a chat the day after with Martin Ellis about his England Community Lions under 16. So we've got plenty to come.
Got to say, Parky, just for you. Both those guys are absolutely great blokes, aren't they?
Oh, do you know, first and foremost, fantastic fellas.
Really, really nice guys. Always make us welcome. Always got time for us and understand what we're doing, etc., or trying to do. And yeah, really accommodating. And you know what? It's good. Every time we cover them in whatever form, I just love it, having a chat with them. It's great.
So, where do you want us to start? We've got a whole range of fixtures and results for the weekend. Where do you want us to start?
Well, we usually start with the old Cumbria, don't we?
Yeah. So once again, we'd like to thank the Cumbria Crack for their coverage of the sport up in Cumbria. They've done some fantastic articles. Do get on there, by the way, cumbriacrack.com. And I'm sure you'll be able to find all of these things. But we have the quarter-final ties of the Amateur Cup took place at the weekend, and the quarter-final tie between Loughborough A and Maryport proved to be a real cracker. It was a rematch of last season's final, in which the Allerdale side had triumphed. This time it was Loughborough who exacted revenge, getting home 20 points to 16 after an epic struggle, while Kells A won their quarter-final with Lauca, 32 points to 16. Hensingham A went through on default after Glasson Rangers pulled out of the competition, while Espatria were the first side through to the semi-finals after their win last month over Cockermouth. It was tight throughout between the Hornets and Maryport, both sides going into the cup contest with unbeaten records. In the end, though, it was 4 tries to 3, with Jamie McAllister scoring 2, Jensen Alstrom and Matt Sibbald crossing for the Brow. Sibbald tacked on 2 conversions, and Greg Rooney was the man of the match. Maryport scored 3 tries through man of the match, Ellis Nixon, who grabbed 2. Great to see his name on the score sheet, by the way. Ellis, another one of the younger players that represented England Community Lions over the last few years. Luke Baker also got over the try line. Blake Miller, the name that's on everybody's lips in Cumbria, notched 2 goals. Paul Farrell, the Loughborough coach, said it was a good, honest cup tie, and we wanted revenge for the final defeat last year. See, this is what I love about community game. You don't hear anywhere else. You don't hear if Wigan beat St Helens saying we want revenge.
Yeah,
do you?
Yeah,
you never hear that at professional level.
No.
So this is why I love doing this show, because you get far more honesty. So yeah, it was a good, honest cup tie. We wanted revenge from the final defeat last year. We scored some lovely tries and established a good lead, but then let them come back into it at 2016, and it was really tough over the last 10 minutes. But that's what we trained for, a full 80-minute cup tie. And I think the hard game with Lauca the week before really helped us in that. There was a lot of positives, Paul Farrell added, particularly performances from Greg Rooney, James Dixon and Scott Goodwin. But from a coaching point of view, the only disappointment was how we let them back into it through poor game management, which we will be working on. Mark Foster, the Maryport coach, added, "We made far too many unforced errors and we were down 20 points to 6, but I was really proud of the way that we came back. It was hard having to defend in that heat, so to come back as we did," see, you've even got coaches mentioning the weather there. But to come back as we did and have chances to draw level says a lot about the lads' fitness. I'd just like to wish Woughborough all the best going forward. Their completion levels were very high and they made it count. Now Kells 8, they clinched their semi-final place with a dominant first half performance against Loker, in which they established a 20 points to 4 interval lead. In the second half the points were shared, 12 points each. Scoring the Kells tries were man of the match Richard Mars, who grabbed a hat-trick, Danny Greers, Jed Napier and Barry Boyd. Danny Starkey and Blaine Graham kicked 2 goals each. For Loker, there were tries from man of the match Zenda Callender, who grabbed 2, and Jamie Hale, with a goal apiece from Evan Hodgson and Jordan Allen. The Kells coach Jonathan Wignall said, "I thought we played really well. We completed our sets at an exceptionally high percentage rate in conjunction with a fantastic work rate in defence. This culminated in gaining good field position off the back, off which we were able to score points. We again had some changes in personnel due to squad injuries and prior arrangements, but this is the nature of having an A-team. The lads who came in were exceptional, with special mention to Kells stalwart Barry Boyd, who played his first game in several years and was fantastic. Loker are a very good, well-drilled side, and we needed to be at our best to get the victory." In the Holman, Eagles and Cumberland League, Flimby picked up their first point of the season with a 14-all draw at Askham. The Askham tries were scored by Dylan Barrow and Zach Wright, with Lewis Stables kicking 3 goals. Flimby, they scored 3 tries through Reece Booty, Grant Underwood and Lee McGarr, with Booty kicking 1 goal. Askham boss Chris Broadley said, "It was boiling hot." There you go, another notch for the weather. "And really hard, and in the end, although we fluffed a lot of chances, we managed a late penalty to earn a point. I thought we were very competitive throughout, but we suffered 2 really bad injuries, which could mean lads missing the rest of the season. I hope that's not the case, and I hope those lads will be out sooner rather than later on the field." Flimby's Rick Morrison added, "It was a good game from end to end. Really pleased with getting off the mark with our first point. Both teams fought hard from the first whistle, and Nathan Kirkbride won our Man of the Match award with another great performance. Yestin Hughes also had an outstanding game. I'd also like to thank Askham for their great hospitality. Got to admit, I've loved it when I've gone up to Askham in the past. They usually put like a really nice feed on after the game. So yeah, nice to hear that that's still getting a mention after all these years." In the other game, Cockermouth finished stronger at Ellenborough A to win 22 points to 12 after they had held a 16-12 interval lead. Charlie Scott and man of the match Luke Jackson scored the Ellenborough tries, with Josh Patterson landing 2 goals. For Cockermouth, there were tries from Grant Law, who grabbed 2, Adam Kavanagh and Fraser Murray, with 3 goals by man of the match Matthew Irving. Elborough secretary Robbie Thompson, he's a great lover of this show, by the way. He's Robbie. Always good to see him getting a mention somewhere in the mix. He said it was a really good, hard game, a tough 80-minute battle which could have gone either way. Both teams were strong in defence and attack, and the game was really well refereed by Neil Byers. Cockermouth coach Liam McAvoy said, "I agree with that. It was a really hard game, and I was impressed with the young Elborough side. They have some good, strong lads. We were down to the bare bones, but with Rugby Union over now, I expect numbers to improve at training." Unfortunately though, we've lost Jeff Clare from our coaching staff, but my dad Rob McAvoy, who used to coach Cockermouth 30 years ago, is getting involved, so it will be good to work alongside him, and I'm looking forward to it. Just shows, doesn't it? If you've got all that experience, you can still add it into the modern game.
Certainly can, yeah. Do you agree?
I certainly hope that goes well. So the only thing to mention is that obviously we mentioned about the quarter-finals of the Cup.
Yeah.
That means that the semi-finals have been drawn. These games will be played on June the 7th. So Woughborough Hornets A will entertain Aspatria, and Kells A will make the short trip to play Hensingham A. So plenty to look forward to there, isn't it? In the rest of the fixtures this coming weekend in the Holman Eagles and Cumberland League, Egremont Rangers A are set to take on Cockermouth Titans. These are Friday night games, by the way. Dissington A hosting Hensingham A. And then on Saturday, you've got Maryport set to take on Louker, Aspatria Hornets against Flimby, Kells A hosting Askham. So lots to look forward to, and no doubt we'll bring an update of what's happening next week.
Yeah, just one other thing to add to that, Parky, while we're up in the Cumbria region. We had a message through on our Facebook page about a gentleman called Lewis Beckworth, who's doing a run in aid of the Henderson Suite and Egremont Rangers under-7s. On the 1st of June, he will be running around every rugby league club in Cumbria.
Wow.
21 clubs, 106 miles in one day. And Lewis would love any players from each club and any volunteers to give him a hand and run along with him along his journey. He will be going to Walney Central, Hindpool Tigers, Barrow Island, Dalton, Ulverston, Askham, Millham, Egremont Rangers, Westborough Hornets, Hensingham, Kells, Louker, Dissington, Seaton Rangers, Broughton Red Rose, Cockermouth Titans, Flimby Vikings, Ellenborough Rangers, Glasson Rangers, Maryport and Aspatria Hornets. Just hope the weather's okay for him there, I must admit.
That's amazing.
That's one hell of a run, isn't it?
That's amazing. That is great. As he said, what's he raising money for, as he said?
As I say, he's doing it in aid of the Henderson and Suite, and also to raise money for the Egremont Rangers under-7s.
Oh, fantastic.
And as he said, if anybody would like to run with him, please contact Amy Beckworth on Facebook for more information. And obviously there's a Just Giving page that's set up on there that you can donate to if you want to give him some support. But all I can say is good luck with that, Lewis. I say it's a couple of weeks away, but I thought if we mention that now, it gives people a good chance to organise things, so hopefully to run along with him.
Yeah, definitely. I love hearing stories like that.
Yeah.
And best of luck to Lewis for that one.
Well, the fact that he's going to be going around so many clubs as well, because we say down around this neck of the woods there's lots of clubs.
Yeah.
I mean, we know there's not many there, but so consequently you can understand why he's having to run that far to go around all those clubs. I don't know,
he still found 21 clubs to run
True,
around, hasn't he? So, you know, I mean, that's fair going, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really
all
fair
the best
going.
for that, Lewis, anyway, yeah.
Right, where to next, Steve?
Why don't we go on to the Northwest Men's?
Northwest Men's, right. So, we have I'm going to start with the Premier Division. I'm going to start with the results from last week. Steve, maybe you can look at the fixtures for next week.
Yeah, if you just crack on, and I'll just
crack on with this. So, on Saturday, we saw Folly Lane 10, Heysham Atoms 32, Ashton Burrs 20, Blackbrook 12. That sounded like it was a crackerjack of a game. And then there was the game that we were at on Friday evening. Latchford Albion up against Orrell St James. Before we tell you any more about this game, I'll tell you what, let's have some Ordu highlights, shall we? Latchford Albion hosting Orrell St James. Wood plays it behind to Adam Ball. Siani was running the dummy runner. He's lining himself up in the middle of the field as well, but instead it's going to be Tom Whittle who the ball will bypass, and then it's out with McHugh and running through there. Superb. Here's Taylor. Taylor taking the defence on, and Taylor dances underneath the post. First try of the game, Steve. It comes after how long?
It comes after just shy of 3 minutes.
20 metres in from touch. Where's this ball going now? McHugh's call for it. Cuts out to the left. Ducks a tackle. Oh, he's over. It's McHugh. Wow, where's he found that one from?
Lovely little dummy there. Looks as though he's going to throw it over the top to the winger, which they've attempted on a few occasions. And obviously, Latchford have taken the dummy. He's ducked, he's gone in, he's gone through over onto that left-hand side, about 5-10 metres in. And lovely little move there.
Wood ducks it to the left, links with McHugh again. McHugh right into the teeth of the line. Slips the ball perfectly to Callum Taylor, who came onto that one once more like a train, and it's another try for Taylor. Ball moved out to McHugh. McHugh, it's opening up for Taylor. Taylor's got Siani inside. Siani will stride over by the post, takes it right under the black dot, and the try is awarded. That was beautiful play. The defence just melted away. Callum Taylor, well, he could have tucked it under his arm and gone over for his hat-trick, but he thought, no, the man who's better placed is Kaisiani, and he zips his way to the try line, stretches the advantage out to 30 points to nil. Steve Binlow takes it comfortably. He'll start the counter-attack now.
Good step. Good step. He's
got pace. Can anybody stop him? Yes, they can. Alex Davis, a diving challenge, stops him over the halfway line. But what a kick return. It's going to be a sin bin in here.
It could be a card.
A sin bin in for Davis. And he just held down. That sin bin comes after how long, Steve?
It comes after 56 minutes, Parker.
They're knocking on the door again, though. Orrell St James. Where's this ball going to go? I think McHugh's called for it, but it's going to be turned to the right to Calland. He feeds it out to Rogers, then Finlow out wide. It's all out wide. It's a steaming run at the corner, and it is Jack Gallagher, the latest scorer, to stretch this away advantage out to 36 points to nil.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was a big collision with Whittle. There's only one winner there as well.
Yeah. Come on, Latchford. Let's see what you can do. Add a bit of pressure.
Moves it to Folks. Folks out to Ellis. Ellis further wide.
Oh, inventive.
It is inventive.
Oh, Balsley.
It's been picked up as well. They are going to go
try.
In. Yes, it is.
I think it could be. It could be.
It was Marshall Hayes who scored there. It was Cole who put the little kick in.
That's right, yeah.
Marshall Hayes picking up in the end. There's still too many players there for my liking as the ball comes left. McHugh, they'll hunt for a gap. Tawed off, well tackled, 10 metres out from the line. There's still gaps just out wide if they can move it down this left-hand side. Instead it goes right. What do I know?
Oh,
it
what
creates
a space.
Another gap.
Massive gap on that far side.
Created another gap, and Nathan Ellis strolls his way through. Good try for Orrell St James there. Super tackle, that one from McLaughlin. They'll bring it back towards the middle with Davis. Davis stretching every sinew for the line. 2 metres out. Grock. He'll move it right to Phillips. Phillips over the top. They'll keep it moving. It's juggled and put down.
Yes, good move.
Riley Cole with the score. And although he juggled with it, it was lovely hands down this right-hand side. Juggled and put down at the second time of asking by Riley Cole. Sweeps it across to McHugh. McHugh's men in motion. Here's Kelk. Kelk put his head down.
Oh, good tackle.
Ran into touch.
Tackle.
It was a super tackle, that one. There's a little bit of a confrontation on the sideline. The referee's final whistle has gone, so it will be handshakes and back slaps all round. It finishes 42 points to 10 here.
13 Pro-Am Rugby League passion. Green cooling climate. Rugby's coolest partnership is here.
Tell you what, it was passionate, wasn't it?
So, do you know what? I putting those clips together. I mean, we were watching it, and we said the half-back pairing of Orrell were good. But McHugh was in every one of those clips, except obviously the Latchford Albion tries.
We brought you the best of the action there. There were a couple of other tries as well for Liam McLaughlin and Lewis Round as well, wasn't there, for the visitors? But a quick word before we move on to the post-match interview that we did with Sean, and it's more about the hosts actually. You know, because I mean, I know they're doing it tough. They brought a few, younger players in, but Davis, I know he got himself sin-binned. He's head and shoulders above the lot at the moment, isn't he? There at Latchford.
We said that on the couple of occasions that we've been there. He stands out, doesn't he? Really stands out.
I've got a bit more info about him now as well. So apparently, when he was coming through the ranks, he was an outside back. He played at full back and wing. But he was injured a couple of years ago, quite a bad injury, and since coming back, he's gone into the pack, and has just been doing a tremendous job. He's just all action. I love players like that, very honest, and just keep on going.
Yeah, he wasn't shy about getting into any business, was he, at all? Always making himself available, and as you say, he stood out right from the word go. I mean, it is a young team, a new team to a certain extent. We must admit the two, were the Cole brothers, were they were exciting to watch, I must admit. And
River and Riley.
Yeah, I think that they're going to be good to watch moving forward as the season goes on, or the seasons go on.
Let's flip it on its head, and Orrell St James, very functional performance from them, wasn't it?
Yeah. I've got to say, I mean, I said it on commentary, Kaisiani, for me, I've not seen him have a bad game.
Oh, he's a machine, isn't he?
If you remember, I said it before the game, and I said I hope I didn't jinx him. I certainly didn't, because, again, he was in everything. He was a guy who was offering himself up from the kick-off. It was, 100 miles an hour driving the ball back. And at one point there, he had some really nice soft hands passing the ball out, which you don't see that from many forwards. But yeah, really good. The half-back pairing of McHugh and Causey were really, really good.
I know Taylor impressed me, to be honest. I thought, every time the ball went to his side of the field, he looked dangerous, didn't he? And the way he hit the line for his 2 tries were tremendous. But also as well, you couldn't look too far beyond the distribution of Callum Wood, could you, at 9? I thought he was very good too. Yeah,
very good. And the other guy who we mentioned was Liam McLaughlin at centres, who was
handy.
Oh yeah. And I know you were accosted. That's probably not the right word, but it's great when we're doing the commentaries, because obviously we're sat in and amongst everybody to a certain degree, and it's great. But then some people don't realise we're actually doing a commentary that's live, and we had Sean Finlaw's granddad, I think it was, wasn't it?
It was. It was that try from Lewis Round actually at the start of the second half, and he said, "Was that with Sean? Was that with Sean?" And I said, "No, it isn't." But I said, "We've given a good mention so far." But he was very good, wasn't he?
Yeah. But that got me thinking. I thought, do you know what? We're doing these commentaries, and it's people like that it would be great for them to be able to listen, that if their grandson is playing somewhere, that they can maybe sit at home and listen to the commentary. I know after this next interview as well, I've got another little story after we finished and heard from Sean McHugh.
You've got another little story. You're full of little stories tonight. Yeah, I like it, Steve. Right, let's hear from the main man himself, the head coach of Orrell St James. Here's Sean McHugh. Okay, and with Sean McHugh, Sean, we're in the aftermath of what turned out to be a pretty impressive 42-10 win in the end. How did you see it?
I thought we started pretty well, and it was probably a little bit our downfall that, after scoring in the first set, I think our lads then thought it might be quite a comfortable day, and it didn't turn out that way, because Latchford are a good team. We know they're a good team. They're well coached, and I was just pretty pleased that we got back on it, and we scored some really nice tries, but still something to work on.
Yeah, I mean, I wondered about that. It was almost like there's some times where you can score too early, and I was a bit fearful in that second half when you scored first again.
Yeah, I think sometimes psychologically you do think, we're on it here, and then you fall off it. But I was a bit disappointed with some of our scrappiness, if you like. I don't even know if that's a word, but we did get a little bit scrappy in places, and we need to sort that out for the rest of the season, because hopefully you want to score first, but if you do that, then you've got to get back to your systems and just play the game, and not get carried away and everybody think they're an hero. We just need to stick to the game plan, and I think if we had done, we'd have got a bit more joy than we did, albeit we got quite a bit of joy, and I'm really pleased with the result.
Yeah, because it took you about an extra half hour then to almost find your feet again, but once you did, it was like sweeping away before half time, and then you scored some cracking tries second half.
Yeah, I thought some of our play was really good. I mean, curious egg, some of it was brilliant, and then we had some really bad lapses. Whereas if we can, ultimately as a team, we just want to put it all together, and if we can do, and we can get that total performance, that's great. But again, some credit to Latchford. They kept toiling, and they're a decent team, and they kept going at us and made it a bit scrappy for us, and that's credit to them. You know what I mean? They kept in the game, and we had to keep going, and there were spells where they got in the game. Obviously the 10 points they scored, so it wasn't maybe as easy as the scoreline suggests, but I was really pleased with some of our attack, and I especially pleased with our defence. I know it doesn't say they scored 10 points, but some of our defence on their goal line was really good, and I was really pleased with our defence.
And then when you look at it, we just had a quick word off mic about the fact you've got two storming props now that the like for like. If one comes off, you can stick the other one back on, and the levels don't drop, do they?
Yeah, and I think that's been good for us today. Our middle unit is getting stronger year on year because they're getting a year older, obviously, every year. And I think they're laying a platform because we've always been known as a rugby team. We can play rugby and we've got some really dangerous backs, but if those forwards are not giving that platform and doing the graft, the backs can't do what they're doing. So yeah, we're getting quite a balanced team, so we're really pleased with that.
Quick words on Tardoff and Taylor. Taylor pops up for them 2 tries, was in the thick of it every time the ball moved to his side of the field, and Tardoff, some of his runs back, to set the platforms for you, was just tremendous.
Yeah, and I think again the 2 young lads, I think they're 19, 20, and it's that conveyor belt that we have through the juniors at the club, and hopefully, as lads move on, we're bringing lads through, and they're both Orrell lads, they've played all the junior rugby there, and it's just nice to see them coming through to first team and progressing. It's probably the second year now in open age, and they're developing, getting a bit more confidence, and obviously they're 2 for the future.
How do you summarise the season so far? Because you're what, 5-6 league games into it now. It's quite a short league campaign, unfortunately, now with how the leagues kind of find themselves in. But you're quite well placed still, aren't you?
Good question. I'm not actually. I think we might be second. Behind Finch, and I think it's going okay. It's going as we expected, and it's a difficult thing with the amateur rugby at the minute. One week you've got a full team, the next week you've got half a team. So one week you've not got a team. So it's really difficult, and I think when we get our best team out on the field, I think we can compete with anybody in this league. But sometimes if you've not got your best 17, there's banana skins everywhere, because it's quite a tough, it's a tough division. We're happy being where we are, but again, in regards to it, it's all won on that last day, and if you can get yourself in a position to be there on that last day, you have a chance of winning the grand final. So it's different to how it was. It's not that important now to win every league game. If you can just keep yourself up there, you have a chance of getting into that final, then obviously you have a chance of winning it. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with the way the season's going, but it probably could have been a bit better, but we're happy.
I only ask you, because I know I've spoken to you in the past, and it's been a case of you've struggled at times to put teams on the field, but now, don't get me wrong, I know with what you've said about you never have the same team, and I don't think anybody ever does in community rugby league these days. But you seem to have players that you can drop in, and there's lads that are very interchangeable.
Yeah, and again, our youth system says a lot about that. So we're bringing through now, we've got 2 teams who, the second team's not missed a game this season. So on days we can get 34 players and leaving some out, and then like we went up to Ayrsham last week and it was just the 17 who were available. We had no second team game, so there was 17 lads available. If we'd have had a second team game, we'd have been struggling. But ultimately we're doing well, and we're keeping 2 teams going. We've got 20 odd lads in the under 18s who are playing every week. So yeah, it's all good on that front. Yeah, we're really pleased.
And certainly, a success story as far as the Wigan teams are concerned. Obviously, there's been well documented things happening at Wigan St Pat's, for example. But you're riding the crest of a wave by comparison with numbers and things.
Yeah, I think so. I don't like to compare us with anybody, but we've had a plan in place to make sure we've got a lot of lads from Orrell and a lot of lads from our community, and I think that's paying off for us now, because we're running 2 teams, we're getting 2 teams out. They're all Orrell lads who are playing, and I think that's we've benefited from plans that were put in place maybe 8-9 years ago. They're coming to fruition now. We have got 2 teams out on the field, and yeah, we're really really good at the minute. But it can change, and we see it at other clubs. One year they've got 3 teams, next year they've got 1 team. It's a really difficult one. But at the moment we're pleased with what we're doing, and the whole club's pleased with what we're doing, and yeah, we're just enjoying our rugby.
Thanks for joining us. I'll go and let you celebrate that one, and best of luck for the rest of the season.
Yeah, can I just say thanks to Dave and Pro-Am obviously for commentating on the game today. There's quite a few people who don't get themselves over here or can't get themselves over here, and with a lot of granddads and people like that who can't get out on a Friday night, they've been able to listen to the commentary while they've been watching the VO cam, so it really helps, because you can't always recognise the players, but obviously with your commentary today, they know exactly what's going on by watching the VO or just listening to commentary. So massive thanks to yourselves for coming down, and it does make a difference to everybody in the community game. Thanks, Dave.
Hopefully I didn't get too many players, Dave's wrong.
Yeah, well, I'll not get to listen it back, so it doesn't really matter. Thanks very much.
Cheers, thank you.
Got to say, Sean McHugh is absolutely brilliant. And for those who don't know Sean, usually, I mean, even if the weather's even on the inclement side, he will be in shorts and he will be in flip-flops. And we always have a little chuckle about it because of a couple of stories that he's told me in the past, which I'll not divulge. But yeah, and I did mention that in commentary that about his flip-flops, and he actually said to me afterwards, he says, "Oh, my dad will be made up that you mentioned that." And that got me thinking, and just exactly as he said there, I mean, people who can't get out to the games, you know, but who want to support, certainly like the grandkids, you know, etc. I mean, I hadn't realised it to those two comments, which was that one that he was saying with regards to his dad listening, and obviously then the full-back, Sean Finley's granddad coming up to you and speaking to you. And I thought, do you know what, I hadn't thought about that, and I just think now that if you're playing rugby and your grandparents can't get there, you'd love them to, you know, hear you're playing, hear how you're going on, get them sorted out with Mixler, because we cover all different games as best we can, and I know Parky here does a really, really good job. I just interfere from time to time with,
won't go that far.
Just to increase my merchandise range.
Lovely ball.
Yeah.
Lovely try. Lovely tackle.
Yeah.
Lovely tackle. The lovely range will be out come the end of the season, I think, won't it?
Oh, could be a card here. That could be our next one. Big red T-shirts.
As Steve was saying, you can sign yourself up on Mixler. If you look up 13 Pro-Am Community RL.mixler.com, that has all of our previous broadcasts this season on there. You can get yourself signed up, and you'll get a little notification the next time that we go live, and with the next games that we plan to broadcast as well, because we usually put a post on, don't we, of which games we're going to be at and what we're going to be doing. Yeah,
and don't forget, as Dave said, like a lot of commentaries that you're listening on national radio stations or sort of commercial radio stations, once you've heard the commentary, it's gone a lot of the time. You can't listen to it again. But from our point of view, we record and publish it afterwards. So
we do. So initially, just for a few minutes, you won't be able to listen back to it, you know. But then you will be, and we've had some, pretty good numbers really when it comes to the re-listens. Yeah. Which I'm always made up on, to be honest.
Well, I always think that and I'm sure if you're a player and you want to hear the game that you've just played in, that is an advantage from what we are doing. I would say get on there and listen, and hope you enjoy it, because we love doing it, I must admit, and we love meeting the likes of Martin Ellis and Sean McHugh and a lot of the other guys up and down the different clubs that we commentate on.
Right, let's have a look at what happened in Division 1 of the North West Men's League, shall we? So these are the results from last weekend. Salford City Roosters 24, Dalton 50. Great result that away from home for Dalton. Charlie Panthers 24, Wigan St Cuthberts 0. Just before we move on from Charlie Panthers, I saw a post on their social media saying they've appointed a new club captain. So Sam Singleton has been appointed, and that's a name that resonates with me, strangely enough. Yes, you guessed it. I've seen him on a team sheet somewhere in the past, and I was racking my brains when I was looking, and I seen the picture. I'm thinking, I recognise you. Where have I seen you from? And he played under 18s rugby at Lee years ago. So yeah, great to hear that you're still involved, Sam, and even better that you're now captain of the Charlie Panthers, and you got your reign off to a winning start. Yep. So in the other games that took place in that division, Burton Wood Bridge 12, Thattle Heath Crusaders A 12, Ulverston 48, Goulburn Parkside 14, Hindley 20, West Orton Lions 32. They're flying at the moment, West Orton Lions, aren't they? Really, really good performances from them. Into Division 2, Roosh Pioneers are having a great season as well, and what a result this is. 56 points to 8 at home against Lee Miners Rangers A. There was finally something to cheer for Newton Storm.
This is a result, I'll tell you now, considering how things have been this season.
Defeating Rochdale Mayfield A by 40. That's 40 points to 8. That is superb, isn't it?
Yeah, do you know what? When I saw that come through, I thought, I can't believe that, honestly. Because I know when I've seen Rochdale Mayfield play against Newton before, they usually turn out a pretty good side with a couple of old heads playing for him. So, yeah, well done, Newton Storm, getting off, getting... Well, I know they've had a win, but certainly putting a performance like that. Onwards and upwards, as they say, they probably scored more points there than they've had together for the rest of the season. But and as I always say, that is good defensive. 8 points.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, compared to how they have been doing that. Well done, guys, to Smiler and all the guys there. Well done indeed.
They've obviously put a lot of work in to get that result, haven't they?
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sure they enjoyed it. Right, in Division 3 there was 4 results. So Wigan St Jude's 38, Blackpool Scorpions 20. I love games like that, by the way. Have I told you that before?
Yeah, just once, twice.
Okay. This also sounds like an intriguing battle. Runcorn 16, Bank Bulls 16.
This is the 2 teams that came up, aren't they?
Wow. I mean, that's a cracking
that doesn't surprise
game,
me.
That.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me.
Higginshaw 28, Callyshead Rhinos 18. And finally, Garswood Stags 24, Lee East A 0. Into Division 4 of the Northwest Men's League, West Orton Lions A0, Langworthy Reds 66, Portico Vine 34, Haydock 6. Where's that result come from?
I don't know. That's another one that's out of the bag, isn't it? Well done, Portico Vines, because Haydock Warriors, they've been flying. They've only had the one loss, and that was to Orrell St James, if I'm not wrong, their team.
This next one's just as impressive as well. Chester Gladiators 33, Liverpool Lizards 26. We know that the Lizards themselves have been having a pretty good start to the season, don't we? So, well played.
Yeah, that's great to see that.
Into the... Have we got any results from the entry division? Yes, we have. Widnes St Mary's 10, Garswood Stags Reserves 28, Chorley Panthers A40, Woolston Rovers A18. I get the feeling they're in a bit of a rebuilding stage at Woolston Rovers A, and it seems a real shame. But I think, like Sean was talking about in his interview, you can go sometimes years like that where you look like you're building something, you've got lots of players available, and then suddenly the next year you've hardly got anybody available, and then you're almost building again. And this is the beauty, I suppose, of having an entry division, isn't it, in the Northwest Men's League, because you don't have to commit to sort of like a full programme of fixtures. You just arrange what you can, what you can do when you've got it, and away you go, basically.
Well, and that's great. I think that's a good idea at the end of the day. And obviously then, like you're saying, if you've got a team where you're short and you need players, then it can be sorted out that, okay, there's no fixtures this weekend, or if you know you've got a plethora of players and you don't want them to miss out on having a game at weekend, at least there's chances and teams you can try and arrange a fixture against.
In the Northwest Men's League Cup, there was meant to be a game between Hurstfinch and Shevington Sharks. Unfortunately, Shevington Sharks couldn't raise a side for that one, so Hurstfinch got the result by the usual 24 points to 0. So they progress in the cup competition. What about the fixtures?
Fixtures for the Northwest Men's. Just give me a second, and I will get that up. It's always easier said than done, especially when your Wi-Fi doesn't run as good as it should. So let's have a crack at this.
So if you want to sponsor our Wi-Fi connection, then that sponsorship is available for next season, by the way.
Isn't there a Yorkshire Wi-Fi? There's Yorkshire and everything else, isn't there?
Yorkshire Wi-Fi.
Yorkshire tea bags, Yorkshire vets, Yorkshire... we'll move on. So we've got the Saturday the 18th of May. It's not the 18th, it will be the 1st of June.
Have we nothing this weekend?
I've got... Let's start off with Saturday the 1st of June.
Okay, well, we've actually got trophy and cup games this weekend. I think that's probably why.
Let's have a look at trophy.
So, in the cup, we've got West Orton Lions against Orrell St James.
Which should mentioning that one, eh?
Massive game, that, to be honest. And the way that we've already mentioned about West Orton Lions having a strong start to the season, that's not going to be straightforward, I don't think, for Orrell St James, is it? It's over at the Lions' Den. Everywhere's a den these days, isn't it?
Well, it's Lions, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's why it'll be a den.
Leopard's Den, Tiger's Den.
You can see the link here, can't you? Knowsley Safari Park, can't you?
Right, it's that got dens as well.
Well, from what I can gather, it probably has.
You know the zookeeper, his name's Denzel, isn't it?
Denzel, yeah. Comes from Washington.
So the other fixtures in the trophy.
Yeah. Garswood Stags take on the Bank Bulls, and then we've got Rochdale Mayfield A. They will take on Roos Pioneers.
And then in the Shield, I believe there's a couple of games as well, Steve.
In the Shield, we have got Foley Lane. They will be taking on Liverpool Lizards, and then this should be an interesting one. We've got A. Warriors versus Hurstfinch A. And we know how well Hurstfinch A have been performing as well. A. Warriors at home though, so I'm sure they'll be wanting to get back on that horse and get back to winning ways again.
Do you reckon there might be a couple of first teamers in that
Hurstfinch
side?
I don't mention that, Parky. I don't think that would happen.
There is one game in Division 1 as well. So... That looks like an interesting local derby, Steve.
And who would that be, Parker?
So that's Wigan St Cuthbert's up against Goulburn Parkside, according to the League Express.
I've got nothing down on it.
Have you not?
Saturday 1st of June is the next fixture.
Right, so it'll be... Well, interestingly...
Who's it? Wigan St Cuthbert's?
Wigan St Cuthbert's, against Goulburn Parkside, apparently. Okay, let's move over to the other side of the Pennine, shall we? So we'll give you the results from the Premier Division of the Yorkshire Men's League. Newsham Panthers 22, Westgate Common 28, Fryston Warriors 12, King Cross Park 26, Doncaster Tolmar 56, Keighley Albion 10, and finally Almondbury Spartans 36, Stanley Rangers 16. Now, I was having a little bit of a look at how the league is sort of like shaping up at this early juncture. So we're about 4 or 5 games into the season. You've got Doncaster Tolbar out there on top by virtue of a better point difference ahead of Almondbury Spartans, Stanley Rangers and King Cross Park. Each and every one of those sides has 6 points so far. Although Almondbury Spartans, they've only played 3 games, but they've won all 3 of their games. Westgate Common are in 5th position, played 4, won 2, lost 2. Fryston Warriors, who had such a great year last year, 2 wins, 3 losses. Keighley Albion, 2 wins, 3 losses. Newsham Panthers, perhaps surprisingly at the bottom of that league at the moment, not a win to be gained yet from the 4 games. Into the Division 1. Now it's my turn for the Wi-Fi to be a little bit slower up.
Into Division 1?
Yeah, we've got Murfield 40, Cutsyke 4, Siddle Academy 20, Hunslet ARLFC 16. Wow, that sounds like it was an absolute crackerjack of a game. And you know our friend, was it Voldemir?
Oh,
the fullback?
Yeah.
He was playing loose forward this week.
Was he?
So very versatile player.
Yeah,
strong as an ox, though, isn't he?
I was just going to say that he would be suited to that, I would think.
Wibsey Warriors 16, Bradford Dudley Hill 46. Division 2, your results this past weekend. Brighouse Rangers 16, Illingworth 26, Cass Panthers 38, Emley Moor Cougars 14. And then my sort of game, Queensbury 34, Mull Green 28. You ask any coach, they hate games like that. But from a Specky's point of
Oh
view,
yeah.
I love high-scoring
Yeah.
games. And finally, Seacroft Sharks 48, Birkenshaw Blue Dogs 24. Seacroft are putting some results together this year, aren't they? Impressive performance there. Division 3 results. That saw the new Ayswick All Blacks 24, Birstall Victoria 14, Bramley Buffaloes 88, Wyke 0, and then an altogether more closer game between Dodworth Miners and Upton. Dodworth Miners 12, Upton 10, and then Elland and Greetland 40, York Acorn 22. Into Division 4, and it was York Barbarians 38, Goole Vikings 10, West Craven Warriors 24, Newson Panthers 8-0, Underbank Rangers 24, Dewsbury Moor 22. Sounds like that was a close run thing, and one that wasn't very close. Ulton Raiders 50, Sherburn Bears 0. And then into Division 5 of the Yorkshire Men's League, Craigleston All Blacks 44, Scarborough Pirates 36. Dearne Valley Bulldogs 24, Derby Elks 0. Linley St Joseph's 22, Batley 12, and finally the Farnley Falcons 24, Garforth Tigers 0. Division 6, and that saw King Cross Park Academy 30, Rycroft Hammers 10, Birkenshaw Blue Dogs Academy 0, Guiseley Rangers 24. Those Moortown Mambas, they were definitely on the charge, winning 56 points to 12 against those Hemsworth Dragons. So that's your results from Division 6. NCL Alliance, Heworth 24, Bentley 0. Milford 20, Shawcross Sharks 12, West Bowling Academy 30, Eastmoor Dragons 12. And mind the gap. Press the wrong button. Never helps, does it?
No.
In the Hull division, we have Myton Warriors 0, West Hull 52. Good result that for West Hull. Anything in the cup? Nothing in the cup. Nothing in the trophy.
Well,
we?
That's because the fixtures for this up and coming weekend are cup and trophy fixtures by the looks of things. Because we've got, from a cup point of view, we've got Doncaster Tulbar. They will be up against Ossett Trinity Tigers. Then we go into the trophy, and we've got Illingworth. They will be taking on Dodworth Miners. Moll Green, they will be welcoming Bramley Buffaloes. So that's the trophy. Moving on from there to the Shield. And we've got the Sherburn Bears. They are going to be up against the Alton Raiders. And York St John Barbarians, they will be taking on Garforth Tigers. Then we move to the NC Alliance Cup. Let's see if there's anything on there this weekend, and there is. We've got West Bowling Academy will be welcoming in West Hull. Eastmoor Dragons, they will taking on Heworth. So that will be your games for certainly from a cup point of view this weekend over there in the Yorkshire Men's Leagues.
It looks like we've got a couple of other fixtures as well, but
Yep,
just have
no
a double
probs.
check of these, because again I'm referring to Phil Hodgson's list in the League Express. So we've got Division 2. A game between Emily Moor Cougars and the Birkenshaw Blue Dogs. And then we've got Division 5, Derby Elks set to host Linley St Joseph's.
Yep.
And one game from the Hull division as well. We have Skirler set to take on those Scunthorpe Steel Sharks.
No, not got that one down, I must admit.
Okay, so we'll see what happens with those results for next week. But
Skirler
always
against...
interesting. Skirler against Scunthorpe Steel Dogs.
Now, I don't know whether they brought that one forward, because that one's down for the Saturday the 8th of June here. So they might have done.
Could have brought it forward, couldn't they? We'll find out, won't we, next week, and we'll bring you up to date. But yeah, great to see everywhere all fully in action now, isn't it?
Yeah.
In the Southern Conference League, I've got a couple of results to bring you. So Bristol All Golds 8, West Warriors 64, Hammersmith Hills Hoist 48, Eastern Rhinos 0, North Hearts Crusaders 34, Brentwood Eels 8. No fixtures this coming weekend. We did see a couple of results results in the Barrow League after us expressing our concern last week at the lack of fixtures that were taking place. We've had 2 which have happened this past weekend. So Barrow Island 40, Ulverston 28, and then Highpool Tigers and Roost Pioneers 58, Millom 10. Your fixtures this coming weekend, according to the rugby paper: Millom A set to host Dalton A, Highpool and Roost Pioneers travel over to Ulverston A, and then in the regional leagues, in the London Premier Division, Brighton and Hove 4, Elmbridge Eagles 40, Brixton Bulls 28, West Warriors 24, London Chargers A 38, Medway Dragons 22, and in the East of England Premier Division, Canvey Knights 46, Bedford Tigers A 28, Hemel Stags 56, the Anglian Vipers 20, and in the Midlands Premier Division, Coventry Bears 38, Leamington Royals 22, Nottingham Outlaws 40, Oxford Cavaliers 20, and we have as well Swindon St George 18, Birmingham Bulldogs 54, and in the Merit Division, Worcester Rebels 72, Staffordshire Quantums 16. Unfortunately, the Deeping Ducks against Lincolnshire Lions was called off. And the fixtures that we've got this coming weekend in the East of England Cup, Eastern Rhinos A are set to host Brentwood Eels A, Bedford Tigers A are set to host North Hearts Crusaders A, and in the Midlands Premier Division, Nottingham Outlaws travel over to Telford Raiders, and in the Merit Division, Deeping Ducks are set to host Sherwood Wolfhunt A. You've got the Staffordshire Quantums on the road to Telford Raiders, and Lincolnshire Lions are at Boston Buccaneers. So lots and lots of action to come this weekend across the regional leagues.
Yeah, it certainly is.
Before we move on to the National Conference League, I do want to bring you our second interview, because I was over again with the England Community Lions under 16s. It's really starting to come together for both of these squads now. So you've got the main Lions squad, and you've got the regional team as well, and they're starting to train together. They're going up against each other. It's really interesting to see the development of both sets of players, and you already give them the guy who's behind it a massive rap in Martin Ellis. So again, it was great to sort of see that development. After this training session, I caught up with Martin, and this is our conversation.
Okay, I'm alongside Martin Ellis. Martin, it's been another really good session. The team's really coming together now for the England under-16s, isn't it?
Yeah. Another top session. It was session 4 this of the block, and they've really come together. We've really clicked. We've done a lot with the regional side as well, 13 on 13 and stuff, and it's been good, positive from both camps, to be honest with you.
A lot of defensive work, and I know it's something that you was keen to sort of emphasise, wasn't you?
Yeah, today, yeah. So just get that defensive side of it right, our processes and stuff, and then obviously put them under a bit of pressure there at the end, just to make sure we were prepared for that Scotland game, really.
And sort of the escape sets as well of coming out of your own end.
Yeah. Just again, we've put little stuff in players in there for them to get out of there and help them, and just it was all focus on what we do if we're under a bit of pressure when we go to Scotland there in that first game, really.
What I really like as well is that you can tell that they're all coming together as a group. They seem quite well connected, don't they?
Yeah, fantastic. I know we've spoke before about it, but I just think we've picked a real two good groups, really, real good people. They're all really close knit, and they've really gelled, to be fair. I'm really pleased where we're up to.
You mentioned the regional as well. Obviously their journey's a little bit longer into their game is a little bit further into the future, but they seem to be starting to pick a lot of the calls up as well. Yeah,
it was important that we made them feel special as well, because they're playing rep rugby, and we've given them the same training, so we all follow mirror the same drills, everything, and same players. So yeah, we've worked hard on both teams, really, and it's I'm looking forward to seeing them play as well, because they've improved week on week.
And it was good getting Steve McCormack down to give a little bit of a flavour of his experience of international rugby as well for the lads. I think that they took it on board.
Yeah, it was something. I got in touch with Steve last week about it. I just wanted the lads to understand the what an honour it is to play for England and representing the country. And Steve was fantastic. I thought he got his message across really well, and I spoke to a few of the lads afterwards then, and they were in awe of it. Really, they loved it. They can't wait now to get going.
Also, as well, we finally managed to get to Innsrose Bridge, so this is the second of the sessions that are being held here, and we've finally seen a bit of sunshine. Where did it go wrong previously?
It's been great, to be honest with you. They can't do enough for us. Great club, and hopefully when we play Ireland here, they'll get a good turnout and get a bit of reward from that. But yeah, they've been great. They've opened up for the last 2 weeks and still here, obviously now, and making us brews and looking after us all the way through. It's superb. Thanks very much to them, really.
So we're 2 weeks ahead of the game for Scotland. What are your sort of thoughts? Have you seen anything of maybe how Scotland's going yet?
I got a bit of footage on the trial games they did and things. I watched a bit back from obviously the game last year of the 16s, and I've been concentrating a bit more on us, really. Make sure where we're up to and make sure we're prepared in the right manner, which I think we will be. And they're all eager to go now, and let's hopefully come soon.
Do you feel they're ready for this game now?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think we've prepped well. As we've just said, good group, and I think we'll go up there and we'll have a good weekend and a good dig at it.
I'll look forward to having another catch up with you in a couple of weeks' time over in Glasgow.
Yeah, cheers, Dave. Thanks very much.
Green Cooling keeps the 13 Pro-Am Community Rugby League show cool, even when tackles get heated.
Great to hear from Martin there, and it's all systems go for the 1st of June when they're going to be playing Scotland in Glasgow. So I know that the team is travelling up the day before. So they're going to get plenty of preparation time together. The meeting, well, there's actually 3 pick-up points that the coach is going to go through. One in Yorkshire, one in Lancashire, one in Cumbria to pick all the lads up. And then they're going to spend the rest of the day together. Travelling up, they've got an overnight stop, they've got a captain's run, then they've got the game. I think it's 12 noon, high noon on the 1st of June.
Where's it being played at?
So it's being played at a rugby union club in Glasgow. I couldn't officially tell you without actually checking all the notes and everything.
Yeah, no problem, mate. The thing is as well, I know obviously you've done quite a few of these before. What do you get many of the parents going? Because obviously that's a long distance, and I know you've had some where there's been played in Wales, etc.
Yeah, you do. Usually, like they're always well supported of the Lions younger age groups. Yeah. And it's great to see. It's fantastic. For these lads that they get the opportunity to pull on a shirt and represent their families first and foremost, represent their clubs. And represent the nation.
Yeah.
That's
fantastic.
It is fantastic.
Yeah.
And you know what? I finally got some news about the under 19s Euros as well.
Ah, right.
So we've been saying for weeks and weeks and weeks that it's going to be happening. It's going to be happening. It's definitely happening. It's happening in Serbia.
Yeah.
It's going to be in Belgrade. And there's 6 teams that are going to be competing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've got England Community Lions as the holders. You've got the runners-up, France, who won the inaugural competition in 2018, when that competition was also staged in Belgrade as well. And there is also Scotland, Ukraine, Serbia involved, and USA Young Hawks.
Oh.
So this is an intriguing one. It chucks a different complexion into this entirely.
I think that's good, though. I think that's very good.
So in the opening round of matches, Serbia will face Ukraine. Scotland, they'll meet the USA. The winners will then face England and France in the semi-finals, with the 2 losers meeting to determine the 5th and 6th placing on the day of the final. And that could be used to determine future qualifiers for the next tournament in 2026. Nice to see them thinking ahead. The losing semi-finalists will meet the team that they have not played, also in a grading game. Now, the USARL chair, Matt Goshnick, he's a new guy that's been appointed. He's commented that none of this would have been possible without the relentless dedication, passion and support of our volunteers, which enabled us to establish the USA Youth National Programme. Sending the inaugural USA Under-19s youth team to the European Championship is a pivotal milestone and an investment in our sport's long-term future.
He's right.
This initiative provides opportunities and pathways for our youth participants to develop and grow, and our inclusion in the event will only strengthen our domestic competitions. Goshnick added, the selection process for the touring team drew significant interest, with over 50 players participating in tryouts. This marks the first time in our history that a clear pathway has been established for our junior participants to represent their country, demonstrating our commitment to creating opportunities for those involved in the sport. The European Championship will be a valuable test in the early stages of our development model, and an experience many players haven't had regardless of the results. Now additionally, the England Community Lions, they'll face off against the Serbia Under-21s team on the first day of competition. This is to help expose the Serbs to more international games. And the European Rugby League, they'll run a week-long camp for an 8-person match official squad, which will contain representatives from across the continent. The European Rugby League will also lead training courses for coaches and match officials in the region, thanks to investment from the Belgrade municipality into the event. It is also expected that the various embassies will engage with their teams during their time in Belgrade. Now, the ERL General Manager David Butler said, we're very grateful to the Serbian Rugby League Federation for putting together such a comprehensive package for the 2024 European Rugby League Under-19s Championship, and we're delighted that the event will be returning to Belgrade. The last one proved to be a true celebration of rugby league and created a respect and friendship between the competing nations that I'm sure will continue. We're very pleased to be welcoming the USA to their first youth competition, and are glad that despite all the challenges that they face, Ukraine remain committed to the tournament. It's also encouraging to see that already this year, Czechia and Norway have played under-19s internationals, and Ireland and Wales continue to operate age-grade teams at this level, and we look forward to hopefully welcoming them to future editions of the championship. I mean, like, it is fantastic. I'm disappointed that neither Wales or Ireland feel that they can send a side to play in this competition.
Yeah.
I know they've got plans to play against each other, and there is plans into the future for, I think, Wales to play in France. So that's how that sort of sits. But I'm still a little bit disappointed because over recent seasons they have built into it, and it just seems like they've had the slap in the face. It's particularly in Ireland's point. So yeah. Ireland have been relegated in some respects, haven't they, as an international standing nation? And I'm sure that somebody will listen to this and will probably be thinking Dave's talking nonsense here, but I would have loved to have said, don't get me wrong, I know that it's an expensive experience, and they're probably thinking, well, we've probably not got a lot of money coming in, we've got to try and fund it, we have got to try and boost our game. And
that's the balancing act to a certain degree, isn't it?
It is a balancing act, and I get it. I do get it. It's just I'm just a little bit disappointed that you've got, you know, Wales, who's been championing these kids for years, who aren't going to be there, and then you've got Ireland, who, you know, added so much flair and character to the last tournament. Not there as well. So, but I'm sure that we'll still have a fantastic tournament, and I'm really looking forward to the Community Lions Under-19s taking on this Serbia Under-21s initially, because that's a real good test to get them warmed up, isn't it? Ahead of a semi-final slot.
I must admit, I do like the introduction of the American team. No matter how they do, I think it's important that they keep them in mind for other fixtures or other, sort of maybe round robin tournaments, whether they're having here, and then I would hope that possibly could the USA host something maybe in the future.
The last thing that we want really is for this to be a flash in the pan.
Exactly.
And
got to keep them included.
We've kind of seen this a little bit before, haven't we? You know. teams have come in, and then we saw it with Toronto. Toronto was a whole flash in the pan for me.
Yeah.
If they can get some sort of foothold in America, then this game still has such tremendous potential.
Yeah,
it?
well, I've always said it, and the thing is, I think by it coming and playing against teams like, obviously for a community size, you're talking, or you're going to come in and playing against people who obviously have got jobs besides playing the actual game. They do it for the love of the game, and they'll see that afterwards with regards to what friendships they will build up, as well as visiting parts of the world that they wouldn't normally get to at the drop of a hat to a certain degree. So it's gonna be really interesting, and from the Americans' point of view, I just hope they grab this opportunity by the horns, because I know they, ironically, I know they've had issues much the same as we've had over here with regards to always having two contrasting, sorts of setups. And one saying that they're the lead sort of department for the American game, and another one saying no, it's us. It's been over here in the you've only got to look at Super League and the RFL to a certain degree, and then you look going back Barla and obviously NCL and all the different ones, and that's there's always been conflicting. And I think from America's point of view, this is a good opportunity to say, right, let's grasp this by the horns. I know it's a million miles away to a certain degree of it being like full time and everything, but can you imagine getting some of the lads who have not made it as American footballers wanting to have a go at this and coming on as props, and that type of that, I think, saying then you've got your some of your pacey sort of
some athletes and running backs, isn't there, particularly playing American football and college football.
Exactly. So from a disciplined sort of education with regards to the sport, sort of how you go about looking after your body and making sure they could outweigh sort of some of the lads from a community point of view, or Serbia or Ukraine, those types of things, because of that's the way it's been done through schools, etc. Do you know what I mean? They may not be more adept at the actual rules, etc., and actually playing the game to that level, and all the different facets to it, but that's the interesting bit. And I mean, if you can harness that, I tell you, if you've got something going there, then
so matches, by the way, they'll be played. Let's get these dates up again. Sunday the 14th, Wednesday the 17th, and Saturday the 20th of July. So we'll have all the coverage.
All the coverage.
Well, maybe not all the coverage, but we'll have some of the coverage, and no doubt I'll be sending you bits and bobs, from Serbia.
You'll be doing your Dave Serbia tours, bit, won't you? Because you've been there that often.
Oh, I tell you what, it's a lovely place. It's a great city. Absolutely great city. I hope that everybody who visits, they grasp it by the nettle as well, because it's a real opportunity just to spend time in a beautiful European destination too, and one that's developing. Definitely there's lots and lots of building work that's going on there as well.
You'll have to get some interviews with our American counterparts if you can.
Do my best.
Yeah,
do my best. I'll have to get some with our England counterparts. Yeah. You never know. There might be a 13 Pro-Am setting up in America.
Our franchise.
Yeah, it's have you got that developing?
Yeah. Here's your rugby, and would you like fries with that?
Yeah, plenty to come from the European Rugby League Under-19s Championships that are going to take place in July. Yeah. Right, let's switch over to the National Conference League, shall we? And plenty going on this past week. We've had a full round of fixtures. It all got underway on Friday when Stanningley hosted Hull Dockers in Division 1. And they had a hat-trick from Butterill. Townend, Salkeld also scoring tries, Mallinson kicking 5 goals. This was in that 30 points to 22 defeat of Hull Dockers, by the way. It was a tale of the Hiles, I think, as far as Hull Dockers were concerned, because Chris scored a try and then T. Hale scored 2 tries. And a certain Craig Cook scored a try.
Really?
Yes.
Getting that...
I think he's back again. I think he's back, but just playing. He's not coaching.
Got you, yeah.
So he's pulled the boots on again. Agar kicking 3 goals, and Hull Dockers at half time were quite well placed in this one. They were leading 16 points to 12. Stanley eventually overwhelming them. Your other results from Division 1 for the past weekend: Dewsbury Moor Maroons 30, Woolston Rovers 4. Another impressive home win for Dewsbury Moor Maroons, who collected their 8th win of the season. Just the 1 try from Pendlebury to cheer for Woolston Rovers. The Maroons tries coming from Adamson, who grabbed 2, O'Sullivan, Walker, Adams and Foster. Walker kicking 3 goals. Innsrose Bridge, well, they had a points fest in a game against Alton Raiders, winning by 46 points to 34. So Malone scored a try, Robbie Valentine scored a try, Rogers, Kieran Eccleston scored 2, Gladwin, Pete Valentine and Hughes scored 2, with Boyd chipping in with a try as well. If only the goal kicking was a bit surer. Robbie Valentine kicking 2, Kieran Eccleston with 1. For the Raiders, Craggs, Alexander, Watson, Kieran Walpole and that lad Adrian Holdsworth getting over for tries, with Walters also joining him on the score sheet. Craggs kicking 5 goals. It was a good home win for Lee Miners Rangers as well, defeating Crossfields by 34 points to 22. Pilkington and Ashworth getting over for early tries. Turner scoring a couple of tries. Porter and Lancelot also getting their name on the score sheet. Goal split between Pilkington, who kicked 4, Gotts, who kicked 1. Meanwhile, for Crossfields, Lee Abron, a certain Coey Love, not that one. This is Slad. Your ears pricked up then, didn't they? So, Coey Love. So Lee Abram, Coey Love, Holiday and Worrell going over for tries. Ashurst with the goal. Crossfields led by 18 points to 16, but as they found over the course of the season, they just can't seem to find a regular goal kicker, can they? And that seems to be counting against them a little bit. It's
certainly tripping them up, isn't it?
For Waterhead, they had an impressive 48 points to 4 defeat of Skirler. So Holland scoring a couple of tries there. Gina scoring a couple of tries, who's in the England Community Lions under-19 squad. Lynch crossing for 2 tries. Fogarty, Hamilton, and one of those heroes of Italy, Murphy, going in for a try as well. Brennan kicking 5 goals for Skirler. Oh, it's that man Oliver. Can't stop scoring. But that was the only thing to trouble the scorers in that one. And then Wigan St Pat's 52, Clockface minus 16. A big win this for Wigan St Pat's. A couple of tries for Danny Riding. A couple of tries for Sproat as well, Jack Sproat. And also other tries from Thompson, Dervan, Taylor, Smith. And good to see Taylor Highland back as well. So he's a guy that we mentioned a couple of years ago. Played quite a lot of wing, fullback, can also play standoff as well. He was playing loose forward at the weekend. He's recently returned to the UK from Australia.
Yeah.
He signed with Keighley Cougars actually, but they've dual registered him with Wigan St Pat's while he gets acclimatised again to the UK, and they want him playing rugby. So he's one of these like dual registration players that's going to be playing in the National Conference League. So great to see him back, by the way. Brad Smith adding 8 of 9 goals.
Good kicking that, yeah.
He's good kicking that. For Clockface, they had tries from Luke Layden, from Kenny Hughes, and from Ben Daniels. Benson kicking a couple of goals as well, but unfortunately they're doing it tough at the moment, aren't they? Trailed by 22 points to 6. And who was the referee? Our good friend from Friday night, Jordan Greenhalgh.
Really?
Yes, he was the ref of that game.
So another local gig for him.
I know he'll be happy with that. He was telling us, wasn't he, that he's been heading up to Cumbria quite a lot this season. Yeah. So as you say, a local gig for him as a Wigan, being part of the Wigan Ref Society, not having to go that far from home. Right, your results from the Premier Division: Egremont Rangers 0, Siddle 22. We've now got to start talking about Siddle.
I agree.
I
agree.
As one of the teams to beat,
that is a huge result to nil Egremont Rangers at home. That is very, very good. Bearing in mind what Egremont have been doing, over the last few weeks as well.
Yeah, I mean,
themselves.
They beat Hunslet, didn't they? Not so long ago. So that is an absolutely stonking result, to be honest. Walsh with a couple of tries. Ramsden and Williams, the other scorers. Hosty kicking 3 goals. They did it tough. They were 10-0 up at half-time, Siddle, and got the better of Egremont in that second half. Again, just having a dead quick look at the table, they've now played 10 games. And this is the most impressive thing. So they scored 256 points of Siddle in those 10 games. They've conceded just 76.
That's absolutely superb.
That is brilliant. Less than 8 points a game they're conceding. That really is championship winning stuff, isn't it? Still a long way to go, having said that. Kells 24, Loch Lane 4. So Luthwaite, Ennis, Starkey and Chambers going in for Kells. Weir kicking 4 goals. Price scoring the only try for Loch Lane. Rochdale and Mayfield 32. Heworth 14. Hat-trick of tries for Reisman. Dakota Tolhurst and Travis Long also involved in the scoring. Lawson also getting his name on the score sheet. Park kicking 4 goals. Touse, Allen and Barnard the scorers for Heworth. Sadler kicking 1 goal. And then this was a standout fixture in Division 1, wasn't it, this past weekend? Yeah. Thatto Heath Crusaders with an all-important win, just the 3rd win of the season, coming against West Bowling by 28 points to 24. Ashes scoring a couple of tries for the Crusaders. Keppel, Horton and Dudley, the other try scorers, 4 goals from Pilling. Meanwhile for Bowling, Halmshaw, Simpson, Milburn, Akara and Spence got in for tries. Cole kicking a couple of goals there. Loads of points in the first half. It was 22-20 at half.
Just as close, wasn't it? Yeah.
But then just as close in the second half, but hardly any points scored. So final score there, 28 points to 24 in favour of Thatto Heath Crusaders.
Goal kicking again, Parker.
Yeah, if you can get a decent goal kicker, you've got it sussed, haven't you, half the time. West Hull 34, Wathbrow Hornets 6. This is a brilliant result for West Hull, by the way. Moore, Lennon with 2 tries, Jones, Tyson Wilson and Opie Palmer getting in for tries. Wilson with 4 goals, and our friend Kieran Welburn also chipping in with a goal as well. For the Hornets, just a long try for them from McConnell. The goal coming from Walker Taylor. They were second best, it would be fair to say, trailing by 18 points to 6 at half time, and eventually succumbing 34 points to 6. It keeps West Hull right in the mix as well. 10 games, 8 wins, 2 losses, 287 points scored, just 108 conceded. So again, we're talking some really good defensive stats there as far as West Hull are concerned. I tell you what, Wathbrow Hornets, we've said that they're right off the pace at the moment, but if you look, they're the 6th. So if they hit the straps and start putting a performance together, certainly if they're starting to peak towards the end of the season. And as we've seen,
they've been in that mix, so they know what it's all about.
As we've seen in this competition before, you string 2 or 3 wins together, you move up, don't you? And without doubt. So, nobody should be even thinking about writing Wathbrow Hornets off yet. No. You're a fool if you're doing so. We know that they're well coached. We know that we've got some cracking players, and we know that they're a handful for most sides on their day, aren't they? Division 2, Barrow Island 14, Millom 18. Close run thing between the two are just around the bay from each other, to be honest. So Ireland scoring tries through Waring, Ford and Wilson. Jones kicking a goal. And then for the Woollybucks of Millom, Ruddy with 2 tries, Evans with a try, A. Wilson with 3 goals. Myton Warriors 20, Shawcross Sharks 60. Of course, Shawcross Sharks are back to winning ways. There's no sign of a Parky on a touchline. So Wakenshaw grabbing a hat-trick there. Neagle scoring 2 tries. Others from Jordan, Murray and Windrow, who missed that game against Wigan St Jude's, if you remember, Steve.
Yeah.
French also chipping in with a couple of tries from his centre position, and Mearns scoring the other try. Tomlinson kicking 8 goals for the Warriors. Well, they got 4 tries of their own through Robinson, Sanderson, Ward with 2, Sanderson kicking 2 goals, but ultimately they were second best on the day. Big win over at the Boneyard. Is it the Graveyard? What's it called?
I think it's Boneyard, isn't it?
Boneyard.
I think so.
Yeah. Normanton Knights 20, Wigan St Jude's 38. Who's going to stop Wigan St Jude's at the moment? They're looking good, aren't they? At the top end of that division. So the Knights scoring tries through Butler, Davey, Barker. Well, 2 Barkers scoring. That's 2 Barkers, not 2 Barkers.
2 Barkers.
A. Barker and C. Barker scoring. Jacob Crossland and Carter kicking the goals for Normanton Knights. And then for Jude's, there was a hat-trick from Rhys McNally. Other scores from Matthews, Smith and Parkinson. Our man Danny Cassidy kicking 7 goals.
7 goals.
Yeah.
Half time?
12-10. I mean, it was a right narrow game at half time, wasn't it? And St Jude's, they've just got a bit of class about them this year, haven't they?
Yeah, they're starting to be an 80-minute side, aren't they?
Oldham St Anne's also got a good win against Ellenborough Rangers at home, 26 points to 10 they won. Pogson the hero there with a try and 5 goals. Callum Cashin, Flanagan and Hollidge going in for tries as well. For the Rangers, Ossel and Todd were the try scorers, Ossel also kicking a goal. Important win for Saddleworth Rangers as well. So as per usual, they find themselves at the wrong end of the table, but we know they've got some performances in them. They defeated Pilkington Rex 20 points to 18, and to be fair, Saddleworth Rangers, they were leading 16-0 at half time, so they nearly capitulated, didn't they? So Rangers grabbing tries through Charles, Brown, Dodd and Goslin. McManus kicking 2 goals. Meanwhile for the Pilkington Rex, Mather, Jamie Smith, Kieran Napper scoring tries. Kieran Napper kicking 3 goals.
Obviously being helped out by the old hands there, Pilkingtons, but nevertheless, even in defeat, that's, you're looking at they're getting, games are getting closer. Some of the games have just got way away from them, and I know they've managed to get a couple of wins, but even that loss will seem like a win, I'm sure, to a certain degree.
Yeah, I mean, they're competitive, aren't they? They're competing, which is something that certainly during the early stages of the season they were picking up some hammerings, really, weren't they? Conceding plenty of points. And for me, this points to a better second half of the season ahead for Pilk.
Fingers crossed, yeah.
In the other outstanding game from this division, Thornhill Trojans 10, Dewsbury Celtic 32. Now, Dewsbury Celtic are also right in the mix, aren't they? They're sitting 4th on the competition ladder. 6 wins and a draw from their 10 games. And in this one, they had tries from Cummins, Copley, Waring with 2, Clark and Yarrow. Paul Fulston kicking 4 goals. For the Trojans, meanwhile, Mitchell and Ward grabbed tries. Gibson kicked a goal and came away with the man of the match award. Perhaps unsurprisingly, he gets it nearly every week, doesn't he? Does Gibson. Division 3, some really good games here. Bentley 16, Dissington 16. I mean, that's an outstanding result, first of all, for Bentley, who must be kicking themselves because they led 16-0 at half time.
All I can say is, if it was as nice up there as it was been down here the weekend, I hope they had plenty of people at that clubhouse for that game.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because that would have been an absolute cracker.
Sykes, Go Lightly, Jarmolinski scoring tries for Bentley. Sykes also kicking a couple of goals for Dissington. Spate, Lancaster, Hodgson getting in for tries, George kicking 2 goals. Beverley had a big win up against Seaton Rangers, winning by 50 points to 6. 2 tries from Wilson, 3 from Rose, 2 from Hardy, Harwood and Burnett also going in for tries. Goal split between White, who kicked 5, Hardy, who kicked 2. The Rangers, they had a try from Kerwin, a goal from Bryan. They only trailed by 16 points to 0 at half time, so they were very competitive in the first half, but Beverley ultimately proving too strong in the second. It was a similar sort of game for Driglington as well. They hosted Featherstone Lions. Featherstone Lions actually led at half time, 16 points to 12, thanks to tries from Stanley, who grabbed 2, Roby, and goal split between Sales and Johnson. But ultimately Driglington, they overwhelmed them in the second half. Sheldon with a try, Roach with 2, Hunter with 2, Griffiths, Hallis and Burton also getting in for tries. Roach kicking 9 goals as Driglington won by 50 points to 16. And it was also back to winning ways for Lee East, picking up only their 3rd win of the season, defeating Milford by 24 points to 4. They led 20 points to 0 at half time, did Lee East in this one. Wilkes with a couple of tries, Wharton with a couple of tries, Aspinall with a try and 2 goals. Milford scoring their long try in the second half through Spellman, but ultimately it wasn't enough, and that win moves Lee East up a place. But again, if we're looking at the league tables, we've already talked about the Premier Division. You've got Siddle, Westall and Hunslet all very close to each other. Rochdale Mayfield are also there as well as the top 4. Kells are 5th, Wathborough 6th. In Division 1, you've got Dewsbury Moor Maroons out on top, Ince Bridge 2nd, Leet Miners Rangers 3rd, Waterhead in 4th, Wigan St Pat's in 5th, Crossfields in 6th. In Division 2, Shawcross are top by virtue of point difference, just ahead still of Wigan St Jude's. Oldham St Anne's, Dewsbury Celtic, Normanton Knights and Millham make up the rest of the top 6. And in Division 3, we'll just bring you the top 6 of this as well. So Dissington still out on top with 15 points from their 9 games. Hensingham are 2nd, Driglington 3rd, Beverley 4th, East Leeds 5th, with Bentley in 6th position. And then this coming weekend, we just have a couple of National Conference League games to tell you about. So York Acorn have the small matter of a derby match against Heworth. This is the first time that these two sides are playing off against each other in the Premier Division of the National Conference. That is going to be an absolute stormer, isn't it, Steve?
Yeah, because is this a rearranged one by any chance because of the Challenge Cup? I remember when we were up there, they were mentioning it. Yeah, that'll be one that'll be... That game will be well supported.
This is being played on Saturday, by the way.
Yeah.
And then the other game comes from Division 3, Driglington up against Beverley. That's a real standout fixture as well. If you're looking between these two sides, they can score plenty of points. It's bound to be a low score, isn't it? Now we're building it up in that respect.
Just for the hell of it.
So that is your fixtures for this coming weekend. Steve, it's been a busy old show. Anything else?
Not at the moment, Parker. Just as I said, the weekend, I really enjoyed being over at Victoria Park again. I hope you all enjoyed it. Hopefully we're going to be doing some more in not too distant future. Yeah, look out for our announcements on our X page as well. Not the X's page, the X page. Again, 13 Pro-Am RL. Get to follow us as well. So Dave Parkinson RL and then Ste_Beech RL as well. It's been a pleasure having you along. Thanks as ever, Steve. Welcome, mate. You know that.
And we'll do it all again next week. But for now, we'll sign off. Go and enjoy your rugby league because that's what we're going to do.
Every tackle, every try, every scrum. Green Cooling is proud to be part of the Community Rugby League family.